Merry Meet Annie here. I didn't post this earlier in the season of Mabon because, well, where I live, we're only just now getting the colors of autumn. Where you live, you may already have been experiencing them, or maybe you have a couple weeks yet before you will. But I'm capturing this selfishly because it's the time of year I'm considering this, because we are just beginning to experience a brilliance of color. We have the colors of autumn in what we see, obviously, in the turning of grasses and trees. We have the impact it has made on the land, how things are looking different. Things are basically thinning out where I live. I'm seeing more. I'm seeing things I haven't seen since winter last. The colors of autumn aren't just what we see in the way of leaves, grasses, the things that change color, but they are the changing of the color. The sun shifts. Its angles are different, revealing things that weren't revealed before. We see things in a new way. Longer shadows, also places illuminated that weren't illuminated before. Around here, the more leaves come off the trees, the more I can see the land again. As those leaves fall, I actually see the ground. We're living in the woods. You don't normally see that. Well, you can experience it and walk on it, but it's not lit. Suddenly, there's an outline, a shape, and a form to the earth. Well, it's been there all along, but the sun is a new perspective that allows us to see that. An exercise in color for this time of the year. Think of, well, the color that is part of autumn where you live. I'm thinking of colors like blue, which might at first seem like blue is the color of autumn, but now when I look out into the woods, I see the blue sky. And as summer has passed here and humidity has eased off, it's a blue that it hasn't been since early spring. Blue is a color of autumn for me. Well, then there's the typical shades of green and orange and red and purple and yellow. It's not just a version of any one of those colors, but all the shadings of every one of those colors. I like to do an exercise. I do it other times of the year too, but when I go for my morning walk, I'll see what color seems like the color. It actually was blue this morning, because I'm seeing the horizon and the sky through the trees in a way that I haven't seen in a while. And it was very clear and unobstructed with humidity or cloud. And then the power of that exercise, after noticing what autumn color is the one that spoke to you the first in a day, is to pay attention to when that color shows up throughout the rest of your day. Well, it's a form of divination on behalf of yourself. Awareness first. It makes you pay attention to your day, but listen to what story blue, if it's blue, or any other color tells you in a day. What it inspires in you, what you notice that you might not have noticed otherwise. It might have you looking at something in a new way, seeing something as beautiful that you might not have seen as beautiful before. And this is not just outside, it's in every moment of your day. It's interesting to explore the colors of autumn when any one of them speaks to you the most clearly in a day's time, what your eyes take in. First, to notice what that color makes you feel, what rises with you in response, and then look up the traditional correspondences for that color. It's a way of then being one of those correspondences. So if red is the first color you see, I know our maple trees are very red right now. I could have seen red as well as blue this morning. Well, I know what red makes me feel like. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel alive. Burning in a way, passionate in a way. Well, if I look up the correspondences for red, it's all about passion. In a way, volatility, vibrancy, aliveness. If I pick one of those words that's a correspondence for the color red, I then pay attention to that word, just like I've read a tarot card or cast stones, picked up a rune. I live that color for the next day or so until I learn the lesson from it. This might be something you want to do as a working for yourself. I have a little collection of 3x5 cards, and I have all the colors that are autumn to me with their correspondences listed there. And if, as in this morning, I see blue, I pick out my blue card to remind myself what the correspondences are. I make myself little pieces of paper that have each of those individual words that are correspondences, put them in my cauldron, give myself a moment, calming and centering and just asking for the universe's guidance, and I pick one of those words out of my cauldron. So first I saw the color, then I experienced what rose in me from it, and then I collected all of its traditional. And some of those things, by the way, over time are not so much traditional, they're what I've added to the correspondences of that color. And I allow that color to guide me in the next couple of days at least. I notice where that color crops up. Surprisingly, blue is not a color that comes up much in my life. So blue became a lot about seeking out hyper-awareness and looking outwards and being aware. And then I picked a word from my collection of words for blue. That word was clarity, which encouraged me to sit with that color at yet another level. Let's not waste the beauty of color in the season of Mabon. This exercise is a wonderful one to do in spring too, when colors are changing again in a very vibrant way. I think of this as an exercise for myself on going out, meaning going out of the season of Mabon in a burst of glory. I do the exercise probably 3 or 4 times in a row, living with each word that comes from the color I chose for a couple of days and then moving on. It kind of sets me up for first remembering the wonder of the season I'm in now, not rushing to Samhain, allowing it to inspire me to pay attention, accepting the things I think I know about the word, but then always discovering something new. I always grow from this experience, so I wanted to share it with you all. The colors of autumn. And if you happen to be someone, our friends in the Southern Hemisphere, an easy exercise also for you to do with the colors of Ostara. Springtime, where you live instead. So see the colors around you in nature, whichever one speaks the most to you any given day. How does it feel to you? What rises in you instinctively? Go to your words about that color, pull one, and be with that word. Live with it and be it for the next couple of days. If you try it, I'd love to know what your word was and where it took you. I wish you all color in the season of Mabon and mirth and reverence. May part.